One of the most insidious and underappreciated biological shifts that occurs with both aging and obesity is mitochondrial dysfunction, a decline in the capacity of our cells to produce energy efficiently. Mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouses of the cell, are essential for converting the food we eat into usable cellular energy. When these structures begin to falter, the effects ripple throughout the body, manifesting as fatigue, slower metabolism, muscle loss, increased fat storage, and a general decline in vitality. What makes this process particularly dangerous is how quietly it unfolds. Most people don't realize that their energy crisis is cellular, and by the time symptoms are noticeable, the damage is often widespread and self-perpetuating. In healthy cells, mitochondria produce ADP, our body's energy currency, through a process called oxidative phosphorylation. But with age, this system becomes less efficient. Mitochondrial DNA becomes damaged, repair mechanisms falter, and the number and quality of mitochondria decline. As fewer mitochondria work at lower efficiency, cells begin to generate more reactive oxygen species, ROS, or free radicals. These unstable molecules damage cellular structures, proteins, and even the mitochondria themselves, creating a destructive cycle of oxidative stress that accelerates aging. Obesity compounds this decline dramatically. Excess fat, especially visceral fat, triggers systemic inflammation and alters hormone signaling, both of which impair mitochondrial biogenesis, the creation of new mitochondria. The very presence of excess fat alters the metabolic environment, flooding cells with more fuel than they can handle, overwhelming the mitochondrial machinery and promoting further dysfunction. What follows is not just weight gain, but a profound shift in how the body produces and uses energy. Cells become sluggish, muscles feel heavy, and the body increasingly stores fat instead of burning it. This is why both aging and obesity so often lead to the same frustrating symptoms: constant fatigue, inability to lose weight, muscle weakness, and poor recovery from exertion. Mitochondrial dysfunction doesn't just sap your energy, it fundamentally reshapes how your body prioritizes fuel, and unfortunately, it favors fat accumulation and muscle breakdown. The energy that once powered movement, mental clarity, and metabolic efficiency is now used inefficiently, or not at all. Fatigue becomes chronic, motivation declines, and physical activity, critical for reversing these effects, feels out of reach. This becomes a trap. The worse mitochondrial function gets, the less energy you have to fix it. Here lies the warning. Mitochondrial decline is a vicious cycle. Reduced energy leads to reduced movement, which further weakens the mitochondria. More fat means more inflammation, which further damages them. A sedentary lifestyle, poor diet, and sleep disturbances, common in both aging and obesity, only accelerate the decline. Left unchecked, this cellular breakdown contributes not only to metabolic disease, but also to neurodegeneration, cardiovascular problems, and immune dysfunction. It's not just about feeling tired. This is about the deep cellular wear and tear that defines biological aging itself. But, and this must be emphasized, mitochondrial function is not a lost cause. In fact, it is one of the most dynamic and responsive systems in the human body. Even in later life, the body retains the ability to stimulate mitochondrial repair and regeneration if it is given the right signals. And those signals come primarily through lifestyle choices. Exercise, especially aerobic activity and resistance training, is one of the most potent stimulators of mitochondrial biogenesis. When muscles are pushed to contract and demand more energy, the body responds by making more and better mitochondria. Even short bursts of moderate intensity exercise, like brisk walking, cycling, or interval training, can improve mitochondrial health. Resistance training helps preserve muscle mass, which in turn supports more efficient energy usage and fat oxidation. Consistency is more important than intensity. The key is to stay active enough to keep the energy systems engaged. Diet also plays a critical role. Whole foods rich in antioxidants, like leafy greens, berries, nuts, and cruciferous vegetables, combat oxidative stress and support mitochondrial integrity. Healthy fats, especially omega-3s from fish and flaxseed, provide key building blocks for mitochondrial membranes. Certain nutrients such as coenzyme Q10, alpha-lipoic acid, magnesium, and carnitine are involved directly in mitochondrial energy production. A nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory diet can help restore metabolic flexibility and slow mitochondrial decay. Fasting and caloric restriction, when done safely, also show promise in enhancing mitochondrial function. Intermittent fasting may trigger cellular repair processes such as autophagy, allowing damaged mitochondria to be cleared and replaced. However, these strategies must be approached with care in older adults or those with chronic illness, ideally with professional guidance. Sleep and stress management are also critical. Mitochondria are highly sensitive to circadian rhythms and hormonal signaling. Chronic stress, disrupted sleep, or constant exposure to artificial light at night all interfere with the body's ability to repair and regulate its energy systems. Without proper recovery, even a good diet and exercise plan may have limited effect. In summary, mitochondrial dysfunction represents a dangerous intersection between aging and obesity, one that contributes to declining energy, rising fat, and increased disease risk. But it is not inevitable. By understanding that energy production is a biological process we can influence, rather than passively endure, we unlock a powerful form of control over how we age and how we live. The path to more energy, clearer thinking, and healthier aging runs through the mitochondria. To ignore them is to risk accelerating decline. But to nourish and stimulate them is to fight back, at the very root of aging itself.